We have baseball, but it will also be a solemn and ceremonial day here in Minneapolis as we remember the lives lost and lessons learned from September 11th, 2001. Guardians, Twins, wrapping up a big three-game weekend series, and the Guardians have a chance to make a clean sweep here in the Twin Cities. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Andre Knott will join us shortly. Rick, the formula has been pretty simple. Hit them early, hit them often. They've scored, and they've been able to add on, build a big lead, and hold on late.
For a team that doesn't really hit a lot of home runs, they're timely in this series, that's for sure. On Friday night, Oscar Gonzalez hits a 3-run home run as they score 4 in the first inning of that game. It's always nice to get a lead early, especially when you're on the road. They did that, and on yesterday, it was Ahmed Rosario, gets a little cutter right there down the middle, hits a line drive out of the ballpark. That was a 2-run homer, and as you said, they come back, they kept adding on, and that is a great way to play when you're on the road. You got to get that score for the second time, and you can see they've outscored the Twins 10-0, 3 home runs, a couple of hit batters. They've walked 6 guys, but it's been the Twins that have scored late in the series right here, 10-3.
No complaints from the starting pitching so far. In fact, Tristan McKenzie last night was just dynamite, 7-inning shutout baseball. Shane Bieber goes today. He's already faced the Twins twice this year, and they've won both of those games.
Well, he's going to go out and with an opportunity for the sweep. He knows what's on him. He's been pitching very well, though. In his last 8 starts, a 5-2 record, only walked 8, 61 strikeouts. He's been aggressive. The knuckle curve's been working well. The slider's been outstanding. His job is to go out there and put zeros on the board till the offense can go over and take over, and we'll see if he can do that today.
Josh Winder will counter for Minnesota, and we are ready for all the play-by-play action between the Guardians and the Twins coming up here from Minneapolis. You see, on the road in his career, Shane Bieber, 60 starts, or 59 starts, 32 wins. So, look, this guy pitches home, road, doesn't matter. He can pitch on Pluto. You got a good chance to win when he's on the hill.
He's a better road pitcher, and I'll tell you what, I like his chances today.
All right, we're back with all the action coming up next. Cleveland Guardians baseball is brought to you by Sheely's. The best things in life happen at home. Your Northern Ohio Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the new Epic Pepperoni Stuffed Crust Pizza, only at Papa John's. Game is brought to you by USAA Insurance, committed to the military community. Just an absolutely lovely day here in Minneapolis as the Guardians go for a 3-game sweep of the Minnesota Twins. And we go downstairs to Andre Knott.
After struggling to score runs earlier in this trip in Kansas City, the Guardians have jumped the Twins early in these games in the last 2 nights. Something that Terry Francona hopes the team can continue, whether it's Ahmed Rosario, getting the offense going on the first inning. But the one thing he wants, Arch, to finish the game off and not have to go through the game the way they have the last 2 nights. He loves how they've started, not happy how they finished, but he wants to finish this series off the right way and get their next sweep since August against Detroit.
No doubt. I can see why he's a little upset because you got a 6-0 game and you could have kept Clase in that bullpen like he wanted for a night of rest. They ended up having to come on in that ball game. That was not a good look. And they came back from 7-0 in the first game, so that bullpen's got to hold itself together. Let's hope the offense can continue to give them that lead early.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting matchup. Shane Bieber, as I said in the open, he's pitched twice against the Twins. They've won both of those games. But Josh Winder, not a household name by any means, but he's pitched well against Cleveland.
He's pitched well. He's had a nice year for a kid that's called up. He's just been called up from AAA today to make this start and finish it out. And these 2 teams, remember, they got to go back next weekend in Cleveland, and they've got 5 games they got to play in a wraparound series, including a doubleheader on Saturday. So who knows if they can find enough pitchers. If any of you guys are back there, get loose. We may have to sign a couple pitchers before then.
Yeah, the Twins, dropping the first 2 games of the series, they've fallen to 500 now on the year at 69 and 69, and they're now in 3rd place. They're 2 games back of Chicago, 3.5 games behind Cleveland. The White Sox, meanwhile, have won 4 straight, and they're just a 1.5 games back of Cleveland. However, because the White Sox have played more games, they're 3 games back in the loss column behind Cleveland.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. I mean, Cleveland's got the games they have to make up. But all they have to do is take care of the game the way it's going right now. They won 2 out of 3 in Kansas City, had a chance to sweep. They've got 2 here. You can go for a sweep again. You worry about your own game and everything else is going to be just fine here. But it'll be the 25-year-old Josh Winder who is on the mound right now. And now he did make a start against Cleveland. That was in Cleveland, June 28th. He ended up pitching 6 innings, 4 hits allowed, did not allow a run. He left with a score 5-zip. They ended up winning 6-zip. So he pitched well. He will make his second start against the Guardians, and we got to see what's going to happen. Hopefully they can make an adjustment on him.
Terry Francona starting lineup presented by Progressive. Stephen Kwan will lead it off. Ahmed Rosario riding a 6-game hitting streak in the 2-hole. Jose Ramirez will bat third. Josh Naylor in the cleanup spot, he'll DH. Oscar Gonzalez in right field batting 5th. Andres Jimenez will bat 6th. Owen Miller at first base will bat 7th. Austin Hedges will catch and hit 8th, and Miles Straw in center field batting 9th.
And defensively for Minnesota, brought to you by Rally House, it looks like this. Garlick is in left field, Cave is in center, Kepler over and right. On the infield, it'll be Urshela at third, Correa at short, Gordon is at second, Miranda at first, and Leon doing the catching.
Charlie Ramos will call the balls and strikes. Mike Estabrook at first base, Nick Lentz at third, and the crew chief, Ted Barrett, is the man in the middle. Even though the Guardians have come in here and won the first 2 games of this series, this is where the Twins have really made their mark on the year. They're 40-31 at home. On the road, Minnesota a woeful 29-38. Now you compare that to Cleveland, where the Guardians are just 33-30 at home, but now with this late surge in the season, they've gone to 39-35 on the road.
Played much better on the road. You're right. They have been. Pitching's been getting it done.
And we are ready to go. Mostly sunny skies, a few clouds overhead, but otherwise absolutely ideal conditions. And the first pitch from Josh Winder is a fastball strike.
The one thing in his first start against the Guardians, he only walked 1. He was aggressive. He was throwing 72, almost 73% strikes in that start. So you have to be ready to hit here.
Well, Stephen Kwan, he's just 1 for 6 in the series, but he's drawn 4 walks.
Those coming in last night's ball game.
Game time temperature today is 69 degrees. Foul back to the screen.
Yeah, left-handers against Winder, hitting just 182. He's done a really good job against the lefties, and righties hitting 286. And have hit 5 of the 6 home runs he has allowed.
Now Winder steps away before this next 0-2 offering. And that's down low. On the year, Cleveland has gone 8-5 against Minnesota. And a line toward left field. Down the line, and it's just foul and pops into the seats.
Boy, that didn't miss by much, and he wasn't coming in on that ball. He was going laterally. That ball ended up short over there, Garlick. He didn't make a direct angle to try and make a catch. He was just sort of cutting it off. Because he didn't really drive it. He just slapped it out that way. It was off the plate. You can see where he's running. It may stay fair. But you can see well short.
And the 1-2 pitch. Took a little something off. Bloops one toward left. Garlick racing in. Won't get there again. This one's fair, and it's a base hit for Kwan.
I mean, that's amazing how that foul ball, I was just looking at it, and he didn't make a good pass at it. And then Kwan takes the same swing, and he gets it in front of him. He never cheated to come in. And he bloops it in front for a base hit. Great for the Guardians. I don't know about it if you're the Twins. They played him way too deep, and he bloops one in there for a base knock, so he will start the ball game with a hit.
You could see the initial reaction by Josh Winder was one of, well, that's an easy out.
Yeah, it should have been. Just from the swing before.
Amed Rosario to the plate. 3 for 10 in the series, including a home run. Swung through a pretty good fastball. It was just on the outside part of the plate. Rosario has hit in each of his last 6 games. And in 12 games against the Twins this year, he has 21 hits, good for a .375 average. Ooh. All right, back. 2 fastballs.
Once again, an 0-2 count. Try and get a time on Winder to see if they may have a chance to steal some bases today.
Kwan is running. Pitches in the dirt. Leon's throw nowhere near in time. And stolen base number 14 for Stephen Kwan.
Well, I think that answers the question right there. He was about 1-4 to home plate. So in that 0-2 count, Kwan just takes right off. And that's the way to do it right there. He wasn't afraid of a pitch out or anything. Had a great pitch to run on down in the dirt.
It's a heck of a job by Leon.
It did a terrific job to pick it up and make a throw and even make it, you know, relatively close. So we've got the answer to that. They can run. Winder, a big guy, 6'5", 215, 20 pounds.
Sandy Leon went to camp with Cleveland. Was in the minor leagues
last time.
And then was traded here in early August.
He pitched in a game here last time we were here. Pitched 2 innings. What did we get, a balk?
Or
looks like a balk. Yes, called by. Oh, take that back. I saw him walking him to third base, but he maybe cut his hand on it. There it is.
Yeah, he sure did.
Cut his hand going into the base. You know, if you don't wear those gloves sliding in, you know, like that, you can rip up your hands. Bases are awfully hard. Watch the right hand now. That's
he's got the glove on the left hand.
Okay. Oh, that's right. But it got jammed into the ground and he picked it back up. You know what I'm saying? He scraped it maybe on the dirt.
See, again, look how wet that dirt is, and that's what happens. You kind of stick instead of slide.
Yeah, it didn't feel good. Didn't we notice that the last time we were here? It seemed to be, you know, really well, and you slow it down for a speedier team, and that's what the Guardians do. That's their 91st stolen base. In turn, Minnesota doesn't steal many. They only have 29, so that's more like a home field advantage there.
But Arch, if you look at the dirt down where we're at, it looks wet still.
I can see it down at third base.
It's amazing how wet it still is. Yeah, right in front of the back here at third.
But that's what you do. You slow it down.
Well, maybe the bigger bases next year won't be as hard.
It doesn't matter. It ain't gonna matter.
I didn't say it.
There'll be bigger pillows.
Got a Band-Aid on the boo-boo, and we're ready to go. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes on Amed Rosario. Oh, he got into that one pretty well hit. Deep center field, caved back.
Up.
He'll make the catch on the warning track. Quan able to tag and move to third base, so a very productive out for Amed Rosario, 1 down.
Yeah, you can tell he hit that ball pretty well, but it was the straightaway center.
Storylines brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Guards want to keep landing that first punch. That's what they've done in the first 2 games of the series.
Yeah, I thought they had one there.
But you've got to find a way to try and slow down the top 2 hitters in this lineup. Luis Arraez and Carlos Correa have combined for 11 hits.
Yeah. And Correa is the one that could do the damage.
Infield in, but 3 on the right side for Minnesota. And Jose Ramirez takes a curveball high.
Playing in against Jose this close on the right side.
Yeah.
That is not a fun place to be.
No, that's true.
You notice Miranda's he's a couple of steps behind the bag at first.
You can keep
I'm not
going.
getting that close. He goes, I like my teeth. It's out of play.
Aren't you surprised they're putting the infield in first inning like this?
Well, I mean, you know, maybe he doesn't trust his offense. Obviously, if you're coming in with 1 out, you take a chance unless he's.
They're averaging about 3 runs a game in September.
Well,
so
that's
that could play
probably
part of
why.
it,
That's
yeah.
why they're bringing it in then. And we've scored, you know, 7 and 6 in this series. So maybe he wants to try and cut one off early.
The 1-1 to Jose is in tight.
I like that pitch. There's not much you can do with it. If he tried to swing at it, but he takes it for a ball.
Reminded me of yesterday. They threw a fastball and he took one right down the middle. They tried to throw another one. He smoked it down the right field line.
Right.
2-1, yanked fouled on the right side.
They stay in there, and that's about all you can do with it. If you're going to hit that pitch and hit it hard, you've got to pull it.
Almost 70% of the time, Jose gets him home. He has 46 runs batted in his last 55 games. He is second in the league to Aaron Judge with 109 runs batted in. The next closest guy to him has 88. And that's foul. Another ball blistered down the right side.
Yeah, he's been in swing mode, you know, for this last month and a half, where he, you know, he doesn't like to walk. You've got a free RBI out there. They should take one of their infielders and put him over where Sandy's playing and coach it, and they'd have a chance to get him out.
That is not legal.
Oh, okay.
Swing and a miss. He got him.
He pitched him tough, and there you got him to expand his zone.
High fastball in play. And off the plate.
They had him looking inside, and then they pitch him away and well off the plate that he swings at. Could have been a full count. Leon knows better. He was there. He knows what Jose's looking for.
Now up comes Josh Naylor looking for the big 2-out hit. Naylor's done a very nice job with runners in scoring position. He's batted .305. And that fastball called a strike.
This kid comes right at you. You better be ready from the first pitch.
Naylor has hit in 5 straight and 6 of his last 7. Couple of doubles in the series. The top 5 hitters in the Cleveland lineup today have combined for 17 hits in the first 2 games of the series. And that one's inside. Line drive right at Kepler. And the right fielder hauls it in to retire the side. The runs, one hit, one left. The Twins are coming to bat.
The Guardians starting pitch today brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealer. And Bieber has been very good on the road this year. 6-3 with a 2.74 ERA. It's his third start against the Twins. With an ERA, he is 5-1 in 14 lifetime starts against the Twins, including 2-1 in this ballpark.
Here is the Minnesota starting lineup with Luis Arraez, the designated hitter, leading it off. Carlos Correa batting second. Jose Miranda will hit third. Max Kepler, Gio Urshela, and Nick Gordon in the middle. Kyle Garlick, Jake Cave, and Sandy Leon batting ninth. Luis Arraez enters the day second in the American League in batting average. He trails Xander Bogaerts of Boston by only 2 points. For a while there, it looked like it was going to be a runaway for Luis Arraez. He had a fat lead in the batting average race, but over his last 18 games, he's cooled off, hitting just .224.
Well, he was up there at 350, 360 at one point.
This is straight up at home plate. And the catch made and foul ground by Owen Miller for out number one.
Let's check out the Guardians defense, brought to you by Rally House. In the outfield, it looks like this. Kwan is in left, Straw in center, Gonzalez in right. On the infield, as always, Ramirez, Rosario, Jimenez, and now Miller gets the start today at first, with Hedges doing the catching.
Carlos Correa, he's had it in this series. It's like Little League. He's 7 for 10 with a home run, 4 runs batted in.
Well, he's that one bat that has to pick it up for him because you don't have a Buxton in the lineup. You don't have Polanco out there. Two of the really good hitters that, you know, it's either leading off or hitting third or second. So they're missing 2 big bats in that lineup, and somebody's got to pick up the slack. This is the guy be careful of. If you get a chance to pitch around him, do it.
Arch, let's look and see if Biebs has that curveball. Remember last start out, did not have a good feel for the curve.
Right. It'll take him maybe a pitch or two.
It's one of the first times, though, we've seen him in his whole career not have that pitch, but
yes,
he still worked through it.
Good pitchers usually do.
Carlos Correa, 7 times in his last 15 games, he's had a multi-hit effort.
Well, the thing of it is, if you're going to throw him a fastball, make sure it's inside, in off the plate.
I don't think he liked that
He
call,
sure
Rich.
did not.
No, he didn't. And the same thing happened last night. He didn't like a call, and there was a strike 3 pitch, and he never got called. It went for him. So, but I think you try and pitch him hard and in, and then that breaking ball away and get him to expand, because he's a very good hitter taking the ball the other way. And you hang him a slider and he can hit it a long way.
Now the 2-2. Fouled back.
He hung him one right there and got away with it. Comes the pitch. There's the slider, and boy, that was a good one to hit, but he fouled it straight back. So
Swing and a miss.
That's a good pitch.
Got him with a tight slider, cutting off the dish, and there are 2 down.
See, that's a pitch. You're not going to hit it if he throws a good one.
StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. Last time out against Kansas City.
You can see all the pitches that he did throw, and I'll tell you what, he went 8 innings, pitched a great game, had a chance to complete it if need be, but didn't have it. Look at about 4 hits, 1 run allowed, 7 punchies.
Jose Miranda taking a look, and it's just a little low. How about Jose Miranda? You talked about the injuries. He leads the team and runs batted in. The last Twins rookie to do that was Kent Hrbek.
Big lefty. Well, that goes to show you how much time a lot of these people have missed in the lineup.
That's a strike on the inside corner. And he leaned him back, ball 4. 2-out walk keeps the inning alive for Max Kepler.
Kepler has had more at-bats against Bieber than any other Minnesota hitter. He has 31. He has 9 hits. Went down swinging 10 times. That's good for a .290 average.
You talked about the Twins injuries. Notably, Miguel Sano. He would be an RBI guy you would count on. He's on the 60-day injured list with a left knee problem.
For the second time.
Yeah. Byron Buxton, hip strain, 10-day IL. Jorge Polanco, left knee, also on the 10-day IL.
Ouch.
I think it'll be interesting to see if either of those last 2 players will be ready to go when Minnesota comes to Cleveland next weekend.
I haven't heard anything if they're close to returning or not. But that ball, I think Kepler fouled it off his knee. When you were just talking about a knee issue with Polanco, and he just fouled it off that same pitch as soon as you were talking about it. Check it out. Right down on the inside part of the knee. Where did we see that? Was it here at the first night, 2 games, or was it in Kansas City? Somebody, was it O'Hearn, left-handed?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Right off his inside of his knee.
It did.
Almost the exact same play that we just saw. Bieber's 2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out to end the inning. We've played 1 in Minneapolis. Guardians, Twins, no score. Second inning. Oscar Gonzalez will lead off for Cleveland. He's had a nice series, 5 for 9 with 2 home runs the other night. 10 hits in his last 21 at-bats, with 4 doubles and 8 runs knocked in.
Yeah, the extra base hits have been coming for Oscar.
One ball, 1 strike. Oh, left field, pretty deep. Back is Garlick on the track and just shy of the wall, makes the catch. 1 down. Just got in enough on him, huh?
Yeah, he's so strong. They've been pitching him inside. After the first game, he hit a couple of breaking balls out of the ballpark. They said, we better change our game plan, fellas, and start trying to tie him up inside. And it looked like it got down. Look at him. He's saying a little bit on the trademark.
You know, Rick, it seems to me that that's been their game plan against Andres Jimenez in this series. They've done a nice job of busting him in with fastballs, and they've held him 0 for 8.
See, well, and then they probably go way up with fastballs to try and get him out. But yeah, there's certain guys you got to make adjustments with, and that's what I noticed with, and you mentioned this guy here. You remember he's a really good Jimenez, a breaking ball hitter. And that home run he hit in Cleveland, walk him off, that was a breaking ball down. So we're saying, hey, we can't afford to do that. If you're going to give him the breaking ball down, you don't want to throw it for a strike. You want it for a chase pitch. So that's why you speed him up early.
Another high fastball in tight. No swinging room for Jimenez. Despite being hitless in the first 2 games of this series, he's 7th in the American League in batting average, hitting at an even .300. Once again, in tight.
There we go. You say it, you shall receive. June 30th, the walk-up. It was a high piece of cheese. Right there, fastball up that he hits out into the bleachers.
Fastball up and away. Right field, that's deep, and it's not playable. It's not coming back, baby.
Here comes a long ball.
1-0 Cleveland on the 16th home run of the year by Andres Jimenez. Well, he didn't have any trouble turning that one around.
No, he did not. I don't think he got it in where he wanted to. His 16th home run. They'll jump on the board again early. See, it was up, but it wasn't in. And he's quick in there. And had no problem getting that one into the seats.
But also, Rick, when you show a pitcher, when you show a hitter that same location over, eventually he's going to get there, right?
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying in this at-bat, they tied him up early, and then he missed with his breaking ball down, and he wanted to go up one more time, but he didn't get it in. And if you make that, it has a little too much of the plate, he's geared for that pitch in that at-bat. Yeah, you can't stay in one place for too long.
It's like you always say, though, we talk about pitchers, certain guys, he doesn't pitch in enough, One of the reasons guys shy away from pitching in is the margin for error.
I agree with that.
Nice job by Nick Gordon to run out and grab that. 2 down.
Yeah, there's no margin of error, on the inside part. If you miss, but that you have to miss in when you go in there, and that's what a lot of pitchers think. Well, I can pitch in, not for strikes. Sometimes you do that for more of a, make them realize you're coming in, and then you got a little more room away. Now watch where it is. It's got probably middle third in. It wasn't right there. It's still a good pitch, but he got on top of it because he's been in there a couple of times in that at bat.
Yeah, and last night, I think, I don't recall exactly who was pitching, but it was 97. And that's a little more oomph coming up and in.
Yeah. Well, he can hit it down and in, but getting it up top in there, you got to give the hitter credit every once in a while.
Austin Hedges has a home run in the series. That came on Friday night. Now the 0-2. Struck him out to end the inning. Andres Jimenez gets the Guardians on the board first. They've scored first in all 3 games in the series. It's 1-0 Cleveland.
Cleveland for a 3-game series against the Guardians. It'll all start tomorrow. You can pick up a district ticket presented by Miller Lite or a $15 kids ticket and get to the Progressive Field. Visit CLEGuardians.com for more information.
Gio Urshela will lead off for Minnesota here in the 2nd inning. Urshela is 4 for 8 in the series. And 2 quickly the count on Urshela as he waved at that last pitch. That was off the plate. Bieber working quickly, disposes of him on 3 pitches.
Well, that didn't take long.
3rd strikeout for Shane.
It's going to be maybe a little harder or a tight one, late break, and it just goes straight down. Nasty pitch, disappears at the last second.
Here is Nick Gordon, and he, with a big swing at a fastball, came up empty. Gordon has swung the bat well in 12 games against the Guardians. He's hit .333.
Well, with the injuries and everything, even earlier in the year, he's found a way to play. He was playing center field when Buxton was out. He's a talented guy. He can play a bunch of different positions. He's been at second base with Polanco out. So he has had his share of playing time.
Just a little high with the fastball.
That's the one they want him to swing at. He was able to lay off that one.
In the air to left. Stephen Kwan makes the catch, 2 away. Check out our Kia player profile. Shane Bieber, among American League pitchers, he's all over the leaderboards. 4th in innings, 8th in ERA, 7th in strikeouts.
Yeah, he's been on a nice roll over the last month or 2 months.
Pitching very much like the veteran ace of this staff. Fastball strike.
Yeah, you know what? That's what's so nice. He's so good when he gets strike 1, and he has this fastball he's spotting today. He can afford to maybe only have one of his breaking balls early in the game when he's spotting his fastball, and he'll get a feel for either that knuckle curve or the slider later. But his 3 quality pitches, he can be nasty.
Boy, that's paint outside edge. Topper foul. Kyle Garlick, 5 hits in his last 5 home games. Ooh, just a little wide.
Tried to get him to expand that zone a little. He knew it was off the plate. He wanted to see how far he'd go to get it. And he took it, so.
Swing and a miss. Shane Bieber piling up the punch outs here in the early going. He is fan 4, 1-0 Guardians through 2.
Well, be one of the 10,000 fans who will receive a Guardians lightweight hoodie courtesy of Meritech on Saturday night when the Guards will take on the Twins, face off for a 5-game series. You can get your $15 district ticket presented by Miller Lite or kids ticket, and don't miss all the action. Visit CLEGuardians.com for more information.
Well, defensively now, Minnesota with some changes. Max Kepler, remember, he fouled that ball off of his right knee in the first inning, and he is now out of the game. So with him leaving right field, they put Celestino in center, move Cave over to left, and Kyle Garlick goes from left to right. Miles Straw leading off the 3rd inning, trying to bunt.
I like that idea.
Matt, this has just been their season. It seems like every other
Isn't it?
inning,
Yeah.
one of their outfielders gets hurt or somebody. Their outfield has been hurt all season long.
When's the last time you saw a straw bunt, Andre?
I have not.
Okay, there you go.
I liked it.
That's right. He's trying to get on.
I mentioned this to Matt the other day, though. He is pulling the ball way more than he has all season
he is.
long right now.
I noticed that, but you know, leading off an inning like this, I
Use
love
that speed.
it.
Absolutely.
Yes, utilize it.
Well,
Absolutely.
Think about it. He's got that type of speed, and look where the third baseman. Look where Gio's playing.
Yeah, they're playing it back knowing that he doesn't bunt.
Right.
That's something I think he can incorporate into that game,
He has
especially by
to.
next year.
Yes, he has
You know?
to. If he's going to be a guy that's not going to hit gaps.
Well, and he's going to be hitting ninth.
Right.
Because you've got Quan as leading off. That's something he has to do. Incorporate that into your game plan.
Took a called third strike there. Third K for Josh Winder. One down. Our Northern Ohio Buick dealer stat. This is what's left. Cleveland with the bulk of their remaining games on home turf.
Yeah, well, we spent the whole year on the road. Why
We're
not?
still on the road. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but all right, we only got one more to go,
But
baby. But 18 home, left at home.
And Matt mentioned it earlier. The Twins have really.
There's a long drive, deep right field. Stephen Quan has left the building.
Boy, did he ever.
His fourth home run of the year makes it 2-0 Guardians.
You know, he swung at the first pitch in his first at-bat, and he's a guy that normally takes it, and he had a good swing. And when he thinks you're going to get a fastball, he'll cheat on you, and I think he did it beautifully right here and hit it deep into right field. That's only his fourth home run.
Might have to go chase that one down later on, Arch.
Because look at it, he's happy. But, you know, it's funny because he's one of the happiest guys, and he turned on that inside heater, 96, and hit it a ton. Nobody gets more excited when people do something out of the field than Quan. When I was looking at the dugout when he went deep, and they were up on the top step as well.
When Will Benson made that home run saving catch yesterday, he almost jumped out of the dugout.
That was beautiful.
So their second solo home run of the ball game.
One ball, one strike for Ahmed Rosario.
Man.
He socks one to deep left field down the line and foul. I have to admit, I lost sight of it right at the very end.
The Sandstone, watch him turn on that inside heater. He pulled the hands through quickly because he's so fluid and so smooth. He doesn't overswing, and that ball just jumped off his bat.
Now a bouncing ball is short. Correa throws out Rosario, 2 down. Jose hammers one to deep right field. That's off the wall. And Jose's going to have himself his 40th double of the year.
Starting to lock in on that heater, I think.
Well, they've had some really good swings in this inning.
Yeah, they sure have. You know, that's what you got to look for early in the count. Look for that fastball, and he's been throwing it inside to him. But Jose, he gets this one after he chased it. See, that one leaked over the plate a little bit. That might have been a two-seamer. But put a good swing on it, line drive, and if it doesn't get by Garlick, who started the game in left field, he moved over to right and kept what come out. Double number 40 for Jose.
Now Josh Naylor, a line drive out to right field that ended the first inning. Had a feeling he was going to see a first pitch curveball.
Well, didn't he hit a breaking ball his last time up and hit it pretty good to right field?
But the way the hitters have been zeroing in on his fastball,
Well, he better maybe change directions and go away with it instead of early in the count starting it in. Going through the second time, they're 2 for 3. See, there you go. Got a pop up.
Gio Urshela into foul ground, ends the inning. 2 solo homers for Cleveland. One by Andres Gimenez, this one by Stephen Kwan, and it's 2-0 Guardians. Bottom of the third, 2-0 Cleveland on top, and Jake Cave will lead off, or rather, Jake Cave will lead off here for the Twins, and then Sandy León back to the top of the order after that. Jake Cave has 6 hits in 15 career at bats against Shane Bieber. There's that curveball, and it was a pretty good one. If he has a feel for that as well and he starts mixing that in, he could be dominant today. Bounced one in there. Three balls, 2 strikes. In the air, center field. Miles Straw has it measured and makes the catch. 1 away. Take a look at the injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Look at the bottom line there. 17 Twins on the injured list.
Yeah, it's hard enough to play this game when you're healthy, especially when you get into September and you got some of your better players that haven't played in a while. It's a tough way to go.
Most of their roster. It looks like with Polanco, there's a chance he could return by the time the Twins come to Cleveland this weekend. Still no word on Buxton on how soon, but he's not close from talking to the people over on the Minnesota side.
Well, we saw it early in the year. They were going to try and protect him.
Well, the hip is hurting now because of the leg. It's the opposite hip that's hurting because of trying to take care of that leg that's been bothering him.
Sandy León with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Did not go.
I want to wish happy birthday wishes to Deanie Murphy in Louisville and Hadley and Dash's grandma. They want to say happy birthday, Deanie. Have a good day.
Always a good day in Louisville. 2-2 swung on and missed. Down goes Sandy León. 5 strikeouts. First time through the order for Shane Bieber. 2 down on the inning, and it takes us back to the top of the order, and Luis Arraez.
Well, he's painting today. He's moving around, pitching to both parts of the plate. He just challenged him with a fastball right there. He might have been sitting down and in on his slider or that breaking ball, but he's got good command of the heater today.
Popped foul, out of play.
You know, that's the one thing you notice when you watch this staff. They go out and they do a great job of getting strike one to all hitters, and now you got them on the you know, the defense. It's a big difference when they can go 1-0 a lot of times, and they can start getting a little choosy.
Wow. Ooh, really good pitch, but called a ball.
Does it surprise you how aggressive Arraez is at the first pitch, Arch, knowing that he's a really good hitter?
No, but he's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. He's trying to jump you early. That, to me, was a good take, although it could have been a strike.
Yeah.
We're not seeing that low strike called like we once did.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Arraez has been this way since
From day one.
Came up to the big leagues.
A little bit like the guy that leads off for the Guardians.
Yeah, except that guy's a little more patient.
Yeah.
But Arraez has a very good eye at the plate now. Don't misunderstand. He knows the strike zone very well. Arraez has 47 walks on the year. Kwan has 55. But you know, Arraez has been playing first base. We saw him at second base. He's played left field last year when they had injuries. Here's a guy that he can hit. You got to keep that bat in the lineup without a doubt. But when you get your first baseman back,
well, I'll tell you what, he's done a good job defensively at first base.
From what we've seen, yes. Doesn't he have some knee problems every once in a while? That instead of playing third in the outfield.
That's why he lost weight in the offseason.
And a base hit, softly served into center field. And Luis Arraez has the Twins' first knock of the afternoon.
Well, he just has good hands. That's all. He keeps them back, and he can hit it to any field. He's quick on inside pitches. And he just flares one to straightaway center right here. Look at that ball was away. It was elevated enough. You see how late he waited for that pitch and just flicks his hands. I mean, that's good hitting right there. Can't teach that.
Strike to the outside corner on Carlos Correa. Struck out swinging his first time up. They get him on the hand or the bat?
It sounded like the bat.
Sounded like a bat.
Look at the home plate umpire doesn't know what to do. He said fair ball. He didn't even run.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's oh my goodness. That's
He
good
never
pitch.
left home plate.
That's good pitch inside.
End of the inning, Carlos Correa.
Boy, he went one in under the hands, and I mean the
Right off the knob of the bat.
Yes, and it stayed fair, and it came right back into fair territory. He couldn't believe it. He thought he was going to get hit. It hits the knob of the bat. They get the out.
Two 2-0 Guardians on top. Oscar Gonzalez leading off here in the 4th inning. 2 solo home runs, one by Andres Jimenez in the 2nd, and one by Stephen Kwan in the 3rd. Three 3-0. Oscar got one down near the trademark. Lied to deep left his first time up. That's in for a strike. And ball 4. First walk issued by Josh Winder. We go back to Cleveland now. Here's Al Pulaski with a Ken Ganley Kia game break. All right, thanks, Al. We'll see them Monday in Cleveland. Jimenez shortened the bunt, pulled it back. Be a weird homestand. You get the Angels for 3, the White Sox for 1, and the Twins for 5.
Well, it averages out to a 4-game series, 3-game series. Yeah, it's been that kind of year.
Checked, it was down and in. He did not go. 2-0.
Guy shocked the first walk of the game. On his side goes against Oscar Gonzalez of all people.
Yeah, of all people, you think that'll put it in play.
Right. But it's almost like he's not being aggressive in the strike zone after they jumped him the last time.
Well, they tried to stay away in that at bat there, you know, and he was off target.
That's
and
the opposite of what he's been all day.
Yeah, and he's patient enough to he was patient enough to take it. Fell behind 3-0.
Don't know if he's just trying to be too fine all of a sudden here, but throw 1 strikeout of the last 7 pitches. It looks like there is some scurrying in the Minnesota bullpen.
I think that's what happened in the last inning when guys got aggressive early on that first pitch fastball. Maybe he changed his game plan a little bit.
Taking all the way, that's in for a strike. It's 3-1. Bang, just foul, first base side.
That boy had a nice first step.
He did. He had a nice jump on that ball.
Great jump. Didn't finish, but he had a great jump.
Yeah, it didn't matter. That was it's in the hole. There's not much you can do about it. He did get it.
It doesn't matter if you have a good first step if your second step is awful.
I'm telling you, we get a shot. He was on it.
He was quick. That's a base knock.
Got to tip your hat to the hitter, huh?
Right. Those young legs, he was ready.
Oh, he rings him up on a borderline breaking ball at the top of the zone.
Well, he came back with a backdoor breaking ball, and I don't know if Jimenez, gave up on it or what. You're going to take a look. There it was. That's a good pitch. It's for a strikeout.
Looked even better on that side angle. Here's Owen Miller. That's ball 1.
Falling behind these first
There's
three
no way he
batters
can
in
go
this
3-0 to the first 3 guys.
You
right?
wouldn't think so, but it's been close. We'll see on this pitch.
High pop on the infield. Correa calling for it. 1 down, or 2 down, excuse me. And we'll get a word right now from Kia.
Presenting Kia's lineup of exceptionally capable all-wheel drive SUVs.
Two down, and Austin Hedges will be the batter. He struck out. His only time up. Swung through a fastball. Josh Winder walked Oscar Gonzalez to start the inning. He was 3-0 to Jimenez. Came back and got the strikeout. Popped up Owen Miller on a 2-0 pitch. And now he's gone the other way. 0-2 on Austin Hedges. A little bit outside. Sunday afternoon crowd. Not much to cheer about to this point. Hedges loops one towards center, but it hangs in the air. And Celestino makes the catch to retire the side. Here's a special look now at Lord of the Rings. The Rings of Power now streaming on Prime Video.
Value pack will expand from all Sunday games to include all Saturday games in the final month of the season. Families can get 4 tickets and $40 in loaded value to spend on merchandise or concessions, all for just $80, plus fees for seats in the family deck.
Shane Bieber will face Jose Miranda to lead off the bottom of the 4th. Miranda walked with 2 outs in the first inning. He's hit .343 in 9 games this month. Just a bit high. 2-1 to count. Right field. Routine play for Oscar Gonzalez, and that is out number 1. And we'll get a word right now from Cleveland Clinic.
Cleveland Clinic. Get the care you need when and where you need it. Visit clevelandclinic.org/access.
Glad to have you with us on this Sunday afternoon. Guardians lead the Twins 2-0. Bottom half, inning number 4. Gilberto Celestino getting his first at bat. He came on for Max Kepler, the Twins right fielder, who fouled a ball off of his right knee in the first inning. He stayed in the game through the second inning, and then he was replaced defensively. The way things are going for the Twins, they're just hoping he won't have to go on the injured list. He has a pretty good bruise. This is what happened to Kepler.
Watch the right knee out front, right down into it, above that little pad he has there.
Almost looked more like the shin, didn't it?
Yeah.
Three balls and a strike. And a foul back out of play, full count. That's back into the seats. Gio Urshela waiting on deck.
It's that little breaking ball down and away. It's so tough to pick up the spin on it. You can see he just checked his swing, but he was lucky enough to foul it off.
Swing and a miss. A half dozen strikeouts for Shane Bieber. 2 down here in the 4th.
Comes back with a really good pitch again. This one outside edge, swing and miss, off the plate, but just barely. Went down a little bit. Late break. They just can't pick up the spin on that pitch.
A little low, ball 1 to Gio Urshela, who was thoroughly overmatched his first time up. 3 pitches, Bieber struck him out.
Bieber's like a machine right now.
Yeah,
he's catching it and going.
Yeah, well, look how quickly he's staying on the mound. He's in a rhythm.
Look at the rhythm he is in right now.
He's had great fastball command right from the outset, and that's setting everything up for him today.
But you know, we watched this with Corey Kluber for years, where they would get on a roll. He would get on a roll for, you know, 5, 6, 7 starts in a row, and Bieber's starting to do the same exact thing right now, guys. If you look at his last 4 or 5 starts, they all almost look identical.
You come out, and it's 2 out of 3 strikeouts every inning. It seems like when they get on their roll and they're commanding everything.
And look at how he just teases him away right there at 90.
Yeah, he wants to see how far he wants to swing. He's not going to give him a pitch. Maybe he'll take the swing and miss, and then he comes back and throws a little dart right there. He's got him just.
Gordon had to duck over there. Matt, we were talking before the game how close, you know, it is behind the catcher. There's nowhere for the guy on deck.
We see that in a lot of different parks.
We do, but here I feel it's the worst, Arch.
Well, stay in the dugout behind the screen and get
I would go down there by the first base coach. I would look at that.
Fouled off down the right side.
That's why they call it target field. You're in the on deck circle.
You're the target. You're the target.
And a lazy fly ball to right field. Oscar Gonzalez again comes in and makes the catch. 4 complete from target field, and the Guardians lead it 2-0.
Stand united.
The President of the United States has said it is time to go back to work.
It is goosebumps at the Metrodome as baseball begins again.
Rio pitch. Swing and a high drive. It is gone! Sosa hits it into the basket, and he's got Old Glory too.
Please welcome the President of the United States.
Never forget.
Yeah, America's pastime played a real integral role in helping all of us get through those dark days in the month of September and the days that followed.
Well, remember, we were in Kansas City when it took place and ended up having a bus home from that trip. Yeah, that was, what, 21 years ago.
Yeah, that World Series, that moment when George Bush stepped to the mound and from the rubber,
fired a seed.
Fired a strike.
Yes, he did.
And you know what we didn't know at the time? You may have surmised it if you were savvy enough. There's a line drive base hit to left field by Miles Straw. I mean, not only did the president step up and throw a strike, he was loaded up with a flak vest, you know, and everything else that he had to go out there. It's hard enough throwing a strike. Let alone you've got all that extra gear underneath that nobody even recognizing, of course, the famous story that he relayed years later was Derek Jeter told him, "Don't bounce it.
Yeah.
They'll boo you." Throw to first. Miles Straw back. Straw has stolen 16 out of 17 on the year, but with the left-hander on the mound, and I don't recall, Rick,
Caleb Thielbar?
you know, if he's got a good move or if he's quick
I don't
to the
either,
plate.
because I don't think any of our hitters got hits off him when he faced him this year, so they may not have had many base runners, that's for sure. He's come in and done, I remember, just a nice job every time we've seen a pitch this year.
Spectrum Mobile replay. Last time up, Stephen Kwan said, "You're going to throw my first pitch fastball? I'm going to be ready for it."
Yeah, and he was twice today. He swung at the first pitch of the game and had a good swing and followed up, but not that time. He didn't miss it. Did a heck of a job.
That is bloop. That is going to drop, maybe? No, running in and making the play is Jake Cave. Got a good jump on it. Maybe just had a little too much hang.
No, I'll tell you what, the difference there is Cave came in, he's a little quicker than Garlick was out there the first inning. He was playing deeper, but he made good recovery time.
Natural center fielder.
Yeah, so watch, he's coming in, and then he finally catches up with it. In the first at-bat, Garlick couldn't do that. It was no harm done because he never scored.
Ahmed Rosario 0 for 2. Got a breaking ball and fouled it back.
That's what Garlick does. He likes to throw that high fastball to hitters and complement that with his curveball, and he has a good one. All right, 33 career games versus Cleveland, the most of his career, and he's gone 3-0 with a .92. And he's had 14 straight scoreless appearances, so that's probably why we haven't seen him throw to first base.
His move must be just good enough because it looked like Straw was going back toward the bag.
But you know what? You got to guess on him then. You know, you pull that, he pulls that glove out and it takes a little while longer than sliding forward and going ahead. But if you don't get a good jump, don't go anywhere because you got your hitters up now.
Right. Does that weird thing where he almost punches the glove as
and he pulls it out.
Pulls it out. Yeah, that's where you almost got to go then, right?
Well, you'd have to go as soon as he picks up. There's that slow hook. That's the one you want to run on, that slow curveball. But he's down in the count, so he can afford to make that pitch. No, there's no sense in making it out here on a base if you don't get a really good read off him.
Chop towards third. It's a fair ball. Urshela off balance throw. What a job. I mean to tell you. That was an outstanding play. We've seen some really good plays by third baseman this month already.
I'll tell you what, he made one last night on a double play ball that, I mean, was outstanding. This one here, just the same. He's an excellent third baseman.
He makes a play like this almost every game we play against him.
And watch, he's got to get it on the run, and he's got to make a good throw and accurate because Rosario's the runner, the guy that leads the league in infield hits.
I'm telling you, between Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt Jr., and now Gio Urshela,
right.
Those are three of the best plays we've seen all year, and it's all been in the last month.
Yeah.
Or last couple of weeks.
Last couple of weeks, right?
Good point. It sure has. Last homestand and this road trip.
And this guy will make one every once in a while, too. At plate.
Jose Ramirez hit his 40th double of the year. Last time up, knocked one off the wall in right field. This time up batting right-handed against the lefty Thielbar.
I know the guys over here are saying we got to add on. They do not want.
No, this would be a big, great point. You're in the 5th inning.
Popped him up.
Not going to happen.
Leone puts it away. We're halfway through. It's Cleveland 2, Minnesota nothing. It's baseball. Brought to you by Union Home Mortgage. Promises kept. Oh, a little putt-putt golf, Arch. I don't know about that stroke, though. Might want to work on that.
That's just fine. He gets a couple of mulligans.
He thinks he's playing hockey.
Well, that's true. It looks like it. Choke up. No, you got to listen to mommy. He's not reading the greens right. There you go. The scraper.
Matt, now we know where Arch and Murph were all weekend. We couldn't find them. They were over here.
We were in Wisconsin.
You said it was windy. You didn't tell me it was right over here.
Fly ball deep off the wall. And rolling towards second base, Nick Gordon going to go in standing with a leadoff double. It's only the second hit of the day for Minnesota.
Well, and he jumped on that first fastball, and it didn't look like it was up high enough, but he hit it well, hit it off the scoreboard. So they'll have a start. That might have been a cut fastball. Stayed up a little bit. All right, so Gordon will get his 24th double, and there's a start for Minnesota.
Kyle Garlick struck out his only time up back in the second inning. Chases a high fastball. And then he's no match for the slider. It's 0-2.
Boy, oh boy, good one.
Put him away. That's 7 strikeouts for Shane Bieber. One down here in the 5th.
I mean, he started this one just a tick off the outside edge, and it stayed right there. Beautiful.
And there's a good curveball to Jake Cave, who swings through it. He flied to center his only time up. One hopper. Jimenez stays with it, throws him out 2 down, and moving to third is Nick Gordon. Right now, we'll get a word from Rally House.
Play ball, Cleveland. Shop the latest in Guardian style with your favorite brands and throwback designs. Rally House has gear for every fan.
2 down, a runner at third. Sandy Leon is being lifted for a pinch hitter, and it will be Gary Sanchez.
Trying to get this run in, huh?
Yeah, trying to tie the game up. Yeah, absolutely, with one swing of the bat.
You know, Arch, I wonder what their plans were with Sanchez as the season started. I think it was the DH more because he hasn't caught a ton. You look at the average, it's not what they expected.
Well, they had their younger catcher catching earlier this year. I'm sure he's on the list.
Ryan Jeffers, who's also on the IL.
Yeah.
Yeah, when in doubt with their team, just if they're not here, figure they're on the IL, right?
Right.
But, you know, Dre, when you think about it, you know, with the injuries, Miguel Sano not in there, you know, the plan, whatever the plan was, it never had a chance. Oh, it hits the bag!
You want to talk about a bad break.
A bad hop RBI single for Gary Sanchez. It gets Minnesota on the board here in the 5th, and it's 2-1.
Well, that ball, and if Ramirez gets it, it's going to be an out because Sanchez doesn't go down the line very well, and that ball hits the bag and jumps over the head of Jose Ramirez. He's coming in to get it, and he knew it was going to be close, and then he just hits perfectly, goes over his head. That'll go as an infield single, and they cut the lead 2-1 and keep the inning going. What are the chances of that?
Fastball strike to the outside corner. Luis Arraez singled his last time up. That was Minnesota's first hit in the 3rd inning. Out of play left side. And it's 0-2. And our Medical Mutual 5-star report, when it comes to 2-strike hits, he's one of the best in the game.
Yeah.
Shocker. Look at all those guys. The guys, all the best hitters in baseball right there.
Right. They're not afraid to hit with 2 strikes.
Just off the outside corner. Luis Arraez, 5 hits in the series. 3 of those have been doubles. Down and in. He's able to hold up. Owen Miller playing in front of the runner Sanchez at first base, and Arraez yanks one foul.
How did he hook that?
Well, he was out front of it. You know, that's a pitch he wanted him to chase and swing over.
Right.
But he didn't do it because he's been trying to take him to left field. But when he throws that curveball down, it's slower, so it speeds up his bat.
Yeah. He hooked that so well.
Yeah, and he got down to get the barrel to it.
To first base off the shin of Owen Miller. He recovers in time to retire. Arraez, and the inning is over. Minnesota gets on the board. Through 5 innings, 2-1 Cleveland. Baseball brought to you by Levin. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight. Chevrolet, the #1 selling family of SUVs in the Cleveland area. And by Spectrum Mobile. Switch and save with Spectrum Mobile. Nationwide 5G included. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com. 2-1. Guardians on top. 6th inning. Caleb Thielbar, who worked a scoreless 5th, stays on to pitch here in the 6th. And Josh Naylor takes outside, ball 1. Naylor lined to right in the 1st, fouled out to end the 3rd inning.
But now you'd certainly love to come back and have an add-on after they got their run. Hitting 3rd base. Sanchez stays in the game catching.
Josh Naylor brought a 5-game hitting streak into today's series finale. He takes outside. It's 3-0. Griffin Jacks. Looks like he's ready in the Twins pen. Bullseye. See the shift on defensively. And Naylor takes ball 4. Leadoff man aboard. Second leadoff walk for Cleveland today. And it's the 3rd straight inning now they've had their leadoff man aboard. They haven't been able to cash in on each of the last 2 opportunities. And we're going to see Griffin Jacks to face Oscar Gonzalez when we come back. For Minnesota, 3rd of the afternoon. Right-hander's been pitching well. 12 of his last 13 scoreless. The one glitch was 2 appearances ago, though, and it was a bad one because it was in Yankee Stadium. He suffered the blown save, and it cost them dearly in that game against the Yankees, part of that doubleheader. But he's on here with a leadoff man aboard for Cleveland in the 6th inning. And he'll be facing Oscar Gonzalez. 31 extra base hits on the year.
Yeah, and he's just starting to turn it on since he's been back. Coming off the IL, he's now 24 doubles. That only trails Ramirez. Miller's got 24 as well. The home runs, he has 7. 3 in this series.
Arch, I know you've been big on Oscar from the minute he got here, but can you believe he has that many doubles and he didn't get to the team till June?
I know. It is incredible.
That's incredible to have that many doubles in that short amount of time. Then missed 4 weeks.
Yeah, missed a month.
You know?
Right. Well, you just think about it, though, but he uses the whole field. And his first double we saw down the right field line in Detroit for a 99-mile-an-hour fastball off a left-hander.
I like the home runs in the first game here.
Yeah, pulling the ball.
Pulling the ball.
Hanging sliders. Yeah, he's going to learn his power stroke once he gets more at-bats in this league, more games played. But he can hit it with authority.
There's that fastball, 96, and fouled right back. But it was in tight. Didn't give him a lot of swinging room.
Yeah, and he says I'm just making better contact. You know, when he can make contact, he's going to be outstanding. And this one, it had a little extra juice on it, 96, and that's why he fouled it off. But he was right on it.
Stays alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He got him with a good fastball. Again, look how tight it was. Inside corner, up near the letters.
Yeah, and it was upstairs. You can't get the barrel of the bat to the ball here, that's for sure. The best I think you could do as a hitter is foul it off. But, I mean, this is just a perfectly placed heater. Up top, inside. Oscar took the swing and couldn't even foul it off, so he goes down as the first out.
And now Andres Gimenez. He homered in the 2nd, struck out looking in the 4th.
That's
Left
gonna
field,
fall.
near the line. Jake Cave is there and makes the catch. And back to first goes Naylor. 2 down. Owen Miller will be the batter. 0 for 2 today, has popped up twice. And he gets into one deep left field. Back goes Cave, and he runs it down. Jake Cave saves at least a run for Minnesota here in the 6th.
Season tickets are now on sale. Buy now for access to potential 22 postseason games. Season plans begin with just 20 games and feature deep discounts off box office pricing, flexible ticket exchange, discounts, and other exclusive benefits. Call 216-420-HITS for the tickets.
Bottom of the 6th inning. Cleveland leads by 1. Carlos Correa leading off and fouls it back into the seats. Correa struck out in the 1st. And then in the 3rd inning with a runner aboard and 2 outs, he had a pitch run in on him, and it hit right off the knob of his bat. Bounced right back to Shane Bieber. He threw him out. Correa never left the batter's box.
Yeah, craziest thing you've ever seen.
He was kind of stunned. I'm not sure he knew what happened exactly, but it was an easy play for Bieber. Out of play. To short, Ahmed Rosario throws out Correa. 1 down. Jose Miranda pops one up into foul territory, and Owen Miller puts it away. 2 down. That'll bring up Gilberto Celestino.
Nice quick inning for Bieber.
Rosario throws out Celestino, and the Twins go 1-2-3. This Patriots Day game is brought to you by USAA Insurance, committed to the military community. Presented by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers. Comes your way tomorrow night at 5:30 when Cleveland returns home to take on the Angels. Connor Pilkington and Reed Detmers, a pair of left-handers, will be your matchup tomorrow night. Michael Fulmer is the new pitcher for Minnesota after Griffin Jacks ended up with a scoreless inning of work. Fulmer, the former Twin, on for the 59th time this year. It'll be Austin Hedges, Miles Straw, and Stephen Kwan due up.
Fulmer, good slider. He likes to throw.
And a strike called. Way outside with that one. And the count even up at 2-2. Hedges came into today with 22 hits, 11 walks, and 11 runs knocked in his last 33 ball games.
Oh, man.
It's pretty much right down the middle.
I don't know how much better it could be.
Hedges strikes out. One away. Miles Straw called out on strikes in the 3rd inning and singled to left to lead off the 5th, but after that he never left first base. They couldn't take advantage. Serves that one into center field, and he's got another base hit. And that'll bring up Stephen Kwan.
Yeah, out of the 6 hits, Straw has 2, Kwan has 2, Ramirez 1, and Jimenez 1.
Well, this whole trip we've seen Straw get 2 hits in 4 of the games on this trip so far. And they need this, and Tito told them they need this from him the rest of the season. It can't be just a road trip thing. They need this from him the rest of the season. And maybe a stolen base here now as well.
They're thinking along the same lines you are.
Well, you got to get that's, and you know, I've heard the guys kind of say over here they got to get some energy over here. There hasn't been a lot of. It's not enough noise in the ballpark, and Tito's kind of said, let's go. Don't fall asleep.
No, they can't. The same thing happened in Kansas City on the last game of that you had a 1-0 lead going into the last inning.
Put too much pressure on the bullpen, and Tito's kind of said, you can't keep doing that. He was not happy how the game finished last night.
Well, I know that the first 2 games.
Well, let's get a look here. Miles Straw takes his lead. And he's back to first. Fastball misses high.
Well, misses with his first 3. Maybe that's rushing him a little bit with the guy on first base, taking a little concentration off of the hitter.
I was going to ask you, would you hit and run, but now it's gone 3-0. You got to.
No, you got to take a strike.
Zone,
yeah,
right?
you got to take a strike. There it is. Now, if you're Kwan, you got to look for the same pitch, and this is a good time to run. because Kwan's the guy that you can trust up there. If it's a strike, he can swing it if he wants. If he doesn't, he'll take it. And if it's a ball, he walks. I mean, we've seen him do it time and time again this year. They're just going to wait now till 3-2, and now you got to start him.
Stephen Kwan looking for another one of those 2-strike hits. He was not running.
Well, he was. It almost looked like he stopped. You've got to send him there, I would think.
Well, he didn't take off until Kwan had already popped the ball up in the air. I don't know.
It looked like he started and he stopped. Look, he wasn't really.
Yeah, it was
that was so defensive. You got to go. If he swings and misses, you got to steal the base.
Draws a throw. He's running this time. And Kwan pops it up. Fighting the sun, but making the play is Jake Cave, and there are 2 down. And that'll bring up Ahmed Rosario. Outside, ball 1. Rosario has hit .375 against Minnesota pitching. 0 for 3 today.
Singles all over. 3 doubles, a triple, and 2 homers.
It'd be nice to get another triple now. We haven't seen him have one in a while.
Take a gapper.
There goes Miles Straw. Swing and a miss. Throw down. Not in time, and that'll be the 17th stolen base on the year for Straw.
All right, I'll take the single now, Arch.
Yeah, anything to hit the outfield grass. You got decent speed out there.
Fulmer checks on Straw. And he hits Rosario almost in the middle of the back.
It was, I think.
So 2 on, 2 out. And Jose Ramirez coming up.
Yeah, and that's not what you wanted to do in that situation. You don't want to hit Rosario and end up pitching it. It looked like it got him on the back of the arm. And out comes
Rocco Baldelli. Slowly walking to the center of the diamond. Now signals for the right-hander. Is that Duran? Duran coming on when we come back.
I don't know about you, but as for me, the question has already been answered. Should we be here? Yes.
(9/11) never forget.
The late great Jack Buck, Lakewood, Ohio's own. 2 on, 2 out. And the new pitcher is Joan Duran.
great arm, explosive fastball.
Jose Ramirez will be the batter. He is 1 for 3 today with a double.
Good splitter as well. But this is a situation, no open base, unless you're considering third, and you normally don't.
.100 miles an hour, and it was up and in.
Oh, so you look at it, the first player in club history, 25 plus homers, 100 ribbies, 40 doubles, 15 stolen bases. Being a little patient there, looking for something he can handle.
And it's 3-0.
We've seen about 4 or 5 of the Guardians hitters today sitting in a 3-0 count.
Yeah, I don't know if Duran's just working around him a little bit here, or just trying to
be careful. But you know, you put that guy to third base, and then you really got to be aggressive. No room for mistakes if that happens.
I think a guy with this kind of stuff wouldn't pitch around anybody.
Well, there you go, 3-0 hack.
100 miles an hour, and it was.
That's tough to center on a 100-mile-an-hour pitch. I don't care who you are. And he fouls it back, but it's a 3-1. So, you know, make him get that, look for that same pitch. You don't get it, you take it. There you go.
So they're loaded up with 2 down. And Josh Naylor coming to the plate.
Well, how about that? He's double almost what
Clase
has done when it comes to 100-mile-an-hour pitches. So this guy, his arm is powerful. And when he goes out there, there's times he pitches 2 innings. Heads up for anything in the dirt if you're straw at third. Started him off breaking ball, missed. Oh, to add one on right now.
Well, fouled right back. There was 101. That was almost neck high at 101, and he fouled it back.
Yeah, this is one you can't help it. You can't swing at that one. No possibility to hit it. But does he change his eye level here and go down with that splitter that he has that's so good? There it was. It's a lot of area to cover in that strike zone if you're Naylor.
Struck him out. Guardians leave him loaded. Stretch time in Minnesota. Cleveland 2 and the Twins 1. Well, we go down to the bottom of the 7th inning. Guardians lead it 2-1. Their 2 runs came on solo homers, one by Andres Jimenez in the 2nd, Stephen Kwan in the 3rd. Twins' only run came in the 5th on a bizarre 2-out ground ball that hit the bag at 3rd. It popped over the head of Jose Ramirez, and that allowed Nick Gordon to score from 3rd base. That's the only run for Minnesota against Shane Bieber, who has struck out 7 and has now retired the last 4 in a row. Fastball strike to Gio Urshela, who is 0 for 2. Out of play. Fouled off the other way. Sam Hentges, the Minnesota native, left-hander, getting hot in the bullpen. You see Shane Bieber's pitch count. He's closing in on 100. Missed high with a heater. Line drive, base hit, right center field. Miles Straw will cut it off. And Gio Urshela with his 5th hit in the series, first today. And Minnesota has their leadoff man aboard.
Now Urshela, he's been seeing a lot of pitches. This is the fastball that stayed up a little bit and it was away, and he stayed on it. That enabled him to take it the other way a little easier. He was looking out for those sliders all day long, and that's going to be their 4th hit.
Nick Gordon doubled in, scored, leading off the 5th inning. Big swing, and I think he hit Austin Hedges.
Yeah, with the follow through on the bat, it looked like it got the back of his hand in that glove. Watch the follow through. He probably lets go with the top end, and the thing all the way around and came back and got him.
Cut under that breaking ball. Cut fastball, maybe.
That's the pitch that Gordon doubled on in the 5th inning. Ended up scoring the run, is that cut fastball that Shane left up.
Uh-oh. That's trouble. Urshela on his way to 3rd, and he'll get there easily. They hold Gordon to a single. Nice job by Oscar Gonzalez to cut that off and keep it from getting to the wall. But now Minnesota's got runners at the corners and nobody out.
Well, the very first time they've been able to put hits together. There's that other break cutter right there. And he lined it into right field. Got it down. And like you said, it is a great job to keep that double play in order. Gets it in quickly. Urshela had a terrible jump, and it's pulled down the line, so you're not going to have a chance for him at third base. So Carl Willis wants to come out and have a talk. Just a one-run game, so they have first and third and nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. Now it's time to minimize damage.
Well, think about it like this. Kyle Garlick's the batter. He has struck out twice today. I don't know how much Bieber still has left in the tank, but if he can get the punch out here, then you still have a chance to maybe get a double play and get out of the inning and keep the lead.
Well, he's got Sam Hentges warm in the bullpen, I know. I don't know if he'd bring him in for Cave, the bottom part of that lineup. You can see 70% strikes. You know, that's unbelievable. He's been on target all day long. First time they've got back-to-back hits in the game, they have 5. But right now, nobody out is the big issue.
Missed up high, ball 1 to Kyle Garlick. Tying run, Gio Urshela at third base.
Oh,
him
baby,
up.
that's just as good.
On the infield, Miller, the first baseman, makes the grab. 1 away. Now the left-handed hitting Jake Cave coming up, and here comes Tito.
Yeah, he wants the left-hander, Sam Hentges.
I think Bieber wanted to keep rolling.
Yeah, well, he did his job because he wants this ball game. You know, he wants it a lot.
Well, we've got a timeout. Cleveland on top 2-1. And Sam Hentges coming on when we come back. Let's take a look at our T-Mobile coverage cam for the best coverage in the game.
Well, Bieber had great control all day long, moving it around, throwing over 70% strikes. And you watch he had the breaking ball, the slider, the curveball, and that cutter. He's got 3 variations of it, but spotted his fastball very well today. Only walked 1. So he was locked in all day long, and you were right. I don't think he wanted to come out of the ball game, but he is, and he did a great job. Another good start for Bieber. Let's see if Sam Hentges can pick him up. The big lefty was on to face Cave, and they're going to pinch hit for him.
Yeah, Jermaine Palacios will be the batter. Sam Hentges on for the 49th time this year. And Jermaine Palacios, 25 years old, Venezuelan product. I can also tell you he's the first Minnesota Twins player in franchise history to wear the number 87.
The third?
First.
Oh, I was going to say 87. I was watching Hentges throw to first right there. I don't think he's going anywhere.
That wasn't a real good throw either.
No, it wasn't. I don't trust it over there. Go in there. Get your hitter right here. That's a tying run at third base, man. You better lock in on the hitter. Couple of pitches, breaking balls in on the hands of Palacios. Another good one inside, not giving him a whole lot of swinging room.
1-2 to count. Gary Sanchez waits on deck. Yanked foul.
Yeah, that breaking ball, if you don't get it inside, could be difficult. That one was grounds and foul. You got a 1-2 count. You may have time to take him off on a high fastball. That just throws good enough. He could get it by him.
And that fastball sails high. 2-2 the count. Line caught. 2 down.
Came back with another slider. This one had a little more of the plate. He took it to the right side of the infield and lined it right into Jimenez's glove. So they get the second out and an opportunity to get out of the inning now. As soon as he hit it, he knew it wasn't getting over his head. So this would be a great job if Hentges could get this final out. Bieber ended up getting that first out on the pop-up with first and third, nobody out. Biggest out right here to get.
Gary Sanchez responsible for the only Twins run today. From his standpoint, it was a lucky break. From Jose Ramirez's standpoint, it was a misfortunate bounce of the baseball.
Nice. Curveball, fastball, sitting down in the count, 0-2. And there's nothing you could do. Jose was sitting behind him, and he made a great adjustment to just making a jump at it. He was thinking about throwing that ball and getting his footwork ready, and it hits the bag and it goes up, and that's the only run they've scored today.
Got him. Sanchez fires the bat down in disappointment. We'll go to the 8th. Cleveland leading it 2-1. Well, we move on now to the 8th inning. 2-1, Guardians on top. Joan Duran staying on to pitch for Minnesota. 5, 6, 7 hitters for Cleveland. Oscar Gonzalez, Andres Jimenez, Owen Miller. Defensively now for Minnesota, Nick Gordon moves from second base to left field. And Jermaine Palacios, who batted for Jake Cave, is now the second baseman. .102, and that one is in for a strike. You know, Rick, we're seeing more and more guys, it seems like, that are throwing 100, but they're, for the most part, pretty good like command with it too. It's not just like, well, he throws 100, but he's all over the place.
It's not like it's max effort for some of these guys.
Fouled off. Tied him up and struck him out. That one hit 103 miles an hour. Whew. The only 2 runs for Cleveland, solo home runs. First, Andres Jimenez in the second.
That was number 16 for him.
And Stephen Kwan on the third.
Jumped on that first heater, hits his 4th. That's good enough to hold on to a 1-run lead, though.
Well, I mean, see, 103, and then he's got a 90-mile-an-hour slider.
Right. And also, yeah, he's got a slider and he's got the split. So I'll tell you what, this is no bargain. Yeah, you have to sit on the fastball, or you wouldn't even come close to hitting
it. Mixes in a curveball just because he's showing off.
Well, that's good. You spit on it. He threw it for a ball, so now you're in a hitter's count again.
Got his fastball, but
yeah, there you go. But now try and center and try to level it on 100 or 100 plus. Not an easy thing to do.
Struck him out. Down and in. With the breaking ball, and that's 3 consecutive strikeouts for Jhoan Duran.
This one here, good luck. Look at that ball breaking down. It did get into the dirt. Sanchez sees him. He ends up throwing it to first to get the out.
Owen Miller looks at a slider at the bottom of the zone for a strike. Line drive and a base hit into right field for Owen Miller. So a 2-out base runner keeps the inning alive and brings up Austin Hedges. First hit allowed by Duran.
Well, he got on it, took it inside out, goes the other way. Good for you. He was one of the only ones that could put it in play.
Hedges fouls one back into the seats.
When you watch how dominant Durant can be, just curious why they won't just put him in the closer,
right?
And not these 2 inning, jobs that he does, because he wasn't able to pitch the last couple of days because he had pitched 2 innings.
Yeah, that's
the last
how
day
they
in New York.
him this year.
I know it's befuddling to me.
It's befuddling to me that you used the word befuddling.
I knew you couldn't wait for that, could you? I'm befuddled, man.
Took you all game. We were looking it up at the dictionary.
That took me all weekend, not just the game.
It's strange because when you see this guy's arm, you say, man, he's an automatic closer. But maybe the lead-ins and things like that haven't worked out for him here.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
And I mean, the way they used him today, they brought him in a big situation.
Yeah,
I
we
get it.
had to have outs, yes.
Right. But with the issues they've had at the back end, you would just think the guy to do it is staring him in the face.
Duran strikes out Hedges to end the inning. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th with Cleveland clinging to a 1-run lead. Bottom of the 8th inning. Sam Hentges got the last 2 outs of the 7th inning with runners at first and third and only 1 out. So that was fantastic. He may only be on to face Luis Arraez, the left-handed hitter. Spun him out of there with a fastball, 1-0. Trevor Stephan is ready in the Cleveland pen. And Arise fouls one off of his foot.
Yeah, I pitched him inside, and he fouled it right down into it. Started him off with a good pitch away, and now he comes back in, and he gets that ball, and you can see right off his front foot.
Way outside. Two balls and two strikes. And a ground ball towards second. Jimenez will shuffle over to his right to field it and throws him out, one down. Here comes Tito, as we surmised. So Sam Hentges with a scoreless inning of work. He gets all three batters that he faces. And now to face the right-handed hitting Carlos Correa, Trevor Stephan will be next. Cleveland on top by a score of 2-1. Oscar could probably pick both Kwan and Straw up.
He might.
Well, seventh inning, it got a little hairy for Shane Bieber. First and third, nobody out. He gets the pop-up for out number one. Then Tito goes to the bullpen. Sam Hentges gets a little soft line drive out for out number two. And strikes out Gary Sanchez to end the inning.
Yeah, on a dandy curveball right there. That's a chance to tie the game up. Couldn't do it. Still a 2-1 game. And Stephan will come on for the right-handers here in Minnesota's lineup.
Carlos Correa will bat 0 for 3 on the day. Fastball 97 miles an hour. Rosario with a diving stop, gets up and throws, and a great scoop by Owen Miller for out number two.
What a play.
Dynamite play on both ends.
Really was, because that ball, it had the speed to get through, and Rosario, man, he just laid flat out. Gets up quickly, fires it, gets help from Miller on the backside of this play, and it is just a perfect play. Get him by a step, nicely done.
You know who the happiest guy in the park is right now?
Rosario?
Mike Sarbaugh.
Oh,
You know how many
right.
fungos he's probably hit to Owen Miller over the year?
Isn't that the truth?
Working that play at first base, trying to help him to get better over there.
Boy, oh boy, that was a nice pick, is right.
Not only that, but he's been working with Rosario and going to his left for about a year as well. And that's the one thing that Sarbaugh said to Ahmed. If you get to the ball, you got to make the stop and make the play. And he said that's what he's been great at doing this year. When he gets there, he is making the play.
Well, he has, but you know, when you leave your feet at shortstop, it's awfully hard to get up and make the play. I mean, a routine plays like that I can see, but when you're on your belly, tough play to make, and he gets out of the inning.
Trevor Stephan does his job. We go to the 9th. 2-1 Cleveland. Stick around for Guardians Live, presented by Toyota. Immediately following the ball game, highlights, analysis with Alan Jensen. Dre will take you inside the clubhouse. A whole lot more. It's getting exciting as things tighten up in the playoff races. Elsewhere in the American League, as you take a look at Jorge Lopez, who's coming on to pitch the 9th. The Yankees trying to hold off Tampa Bay. They beat him yesterday, and they're beating the stuffing out of them today. 10-1. Yankees lead Tampa late in that one. Cleveland will be going home to face the Angels. They're getting pounded by the Astros.
That 3-1 lead didn't last long.
The Astros are 11 games up in the AL West. That's the, and that's not even the biggest lead in baseball. Dodgers have a 19-game lead over San Diego in the NL West. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. The White Sox and A's are tied 1-1. That's just the first inning out in Oakland.
Matt, can you believe the Sox scored in the first inning again? They've scored in the first inning every game in Oakland.
What did we have? They had 20 hits yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Scoreboard watching. Lopez misses outside, ball 1. You talked about Duran, and there's no doubt he's a closer in waiting. But they went out and got Lopez because he had 44 games with Baltimore this year. He notched 19 saves and had a 1.68 ERA. He was named to the All-Star team. Topper right off of his glove. And Miles Straw will be safe at first.
That's
That'll
his
be an
third
infield
hit.
Single, yeah.
Well, and then maybe that's the way they do it. They put that Duran in for 7, 8, and you can use this guy in the 9th, but it hasn't worked out that way where he's saving.
He has struggled since he's come over here.
When he first came over here, you know, coming to a new team, I'm sure there was a little more pressure on him.
Well, think about it. He was a guy that Baltimore didn't know was going to be their closer. He had a great first half, but he really has never done this, Arch. We saw him when he was in KC.
I know it.
You
I know it. But, you know, you try to change him, and the team thinks he was closing for Baltimore. Now you got to do it somewhere else. It is. It's a different animal. And once again, I say people don't realize how tough it is to get traded during the year. Good thing it was.
Yeah, it was in the batter's box when Sanchez picked it up.
Good thing it was. Good series out in Seattle, too, for the weekend.
Yeah.
It was Atlanta-Seattle. Atlanta won the first game. Seattle won last night.
Seattle up 1-0 in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, watch this ball, too. He's right there, just in foul territory.
Is it rolling
Sanchez
back?
touch him. No, it just it pretty much is dead. It didn't get out of the batter's box. It might have landed in a toe hold.
Lopez certainly doesn't have a lot of fond memories when it comes to pitching against Cleveland. 23 earned runs in 13 career games.
Well, he started for him too, didn't he?
Yeah.
With Kansas City.
Missed outside. A ball and a strike for Stephen Kwan.
Lopez is another guy that slows the game down when he comes in. Man.
You know, that's something that we'll spend a lot of time talking about in spring training next year. The new rules that will be adopted. The pitch clock is interesting because there are some nuances to it. It's a different clock when there are nobody on base versus when there is guys on base.
15 and 20?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And the pickoff throws being limited. There's a lot to get into. I'm not sure why they picked now to announce all the changes since they don't go into effect until next season. But
because they selected their committee already, and they wanted to vote.
Bouncing ball, first base side,
Nice.
it gets through. Straw's
Nice.
on his way to third base, and he will make it without a throw. And the Guardians have runners at the corners and nobody out.
There's a little life right there at first and third action. And Kwan, I don't know. This guy finds more holes on that infield than anybody. And it wasn't hit hard, but watch this ball get just under the glove of Miranda at first base. He goes down. That enables Straw to get to third. A nice hop. He couldn't stop it or keep it on the infield.
Arch, he had 4 walks yesterday.
Yeah.
As Matty talked about, hadn't had a lot of hits. Then he comes out today after DHing yesterday. 3 hits and back to being the Kwan that we've seen all season long.
Yeah. There he goes. Now the inning's set up. The same situation that Minnesota had earlier. See if they can take advantage of it and get a point on the board.
Ahmed Rosario 0 for 3. Kwan took off, and Rosario swung and fouled it off.
Had a great jump too, and I think he was trying to, maybe shoot it to right field. But you know what? You can let him go one time. Let him steal the base. He's just ultra aggressive. That's all I can say.
Ultra.
Yes. They're not going to throw it through, you would think. They'll look in here, and now they're looking for signs on what to do. Whether they want to throw it in, but the key is they got to get Rosario out. But I'm thinking if Kwan's going to run, Rosario's going to continue to swing.
Yeah.
Right back to him. Easy out, 1 down.
Now you walk Ramirez. He didn't even look at second base. If he does, he could have thrown the ball that way to get it out, and you'd still have a double play in order. But
I haven't seen the 4 fingers yet.
Well, you may not.
I see somebody come to the top of their dugout.
It might be their pitching coach.
I think that is.
They want to talk about what they're gonna what's gonna go on.
There's a conversation to the top step.
Maybe not.
He's coming.
Here he goes.
He's coming.
He's coming. He doesn't know whether he's coming or going. This guy. He's up. He's down. He's in. He's out. Well, this is what Major League Baseball has already announced, but it doesn't go into effect until next season. But so when the bases are empty, nobody on base, 15 seconds between pitches.
Yeah.
20 seconds.
I have no problem with that.
With a base runner.
You know what? I really don't have a problem with that.
Pitcher can only step off the rubber twice per plate appearance.
Yeah, that's
there's just so much to keep track of.
But then that's going to make, they're thinking that's going to make more guys run because you're going to know when they can or cannot throw over to first base.
Well, then they better find some more base stealers because not a lot of guys run.
Infielders must be within outer boundary of the infield. In other words, you got to be on the dirt.
Stay on the dirt, right. And you know what? It's going to be 2 guys on each side of the infield, 2 on the left side.
But Arch, imagine. If you know a guy can't throw over, you can take as big as lead as you want.
Well, yes. And now, if you do, and they do throw over, and they do it for a third time, I think, what do they call, a ball or something like that? Something happens, or you can keep the play going on. We got to look at this a while.
Well, spring training next year, we'll have it all for you guys.
They decided to walk Jose Ramirez after.
Well, that wasn't difficult.
After deliberations.
Yeah, it took a huddle.
There you go.
Intentional walk loads the bases, and Josh Naylor will be the batter. He batted with the bases loaded and 2 down back in the 7th inning. Now they'll play the infield back with 1 out. They're trying to turn a double play here. Naylor is looking for a ball that he can elevate to the outfield.
Good speed on the bases.
Big chopper, and it gets through the infield. It went past Miranda and Palacios, and the Guardians will score 2. And their lead is now 4-1 here in the 9th. Miranda went for the short hop, and I don't know if maybe he screened off Palacios, but once it went by the first baseman, Palacios didn't have much of a chance.
Just a tough play. I think they only would have had the 1 out in any situation. Now we're going to get a pinch runner for Naylor at second. Watch the hop on this. Goes up and over the head of Miranda. He might have screened him, but it wasn't an easy hop. No. And then nobody would have been at first base. Maybe he was thinking he had to catch it and run to first base on this, having the chance to get him. You see, I think he was thinking to go up there.
Yeah, but how about playing in like that? Probably made it tougher as well.
So second and third. Still only 1 out and the infield in. Oscar Gonzalez looking to tee off here.
Well, they just get 1 more in.
This all started with a Miles Straw comebacker that went off the glove of Lopez for an infield hit.
That's not good.
Now popped him up foul ground. 2 away. And Oscar 0 for 4 this afternoon. Andres Jimenez to the plate. His home run started the scoring back in the 2nd inning.
They could walk this guy too. They got to be careful.
Well, the way he hits in the clutch with 2 outs.
Yeah, I mean, I'd walk him.
Yeah, they are. An intentional walk to Jimenez.
I mean, when a guy beats you a couple of times, that's all it should take.
Well, reload the bases.
Take your chance with Owen Miller up there. They've already got a nice inning going, a couple, and make it a 4-1 game. But the way these things have ended, with Minnesota coming on in the 9th, you better get a couple more in.
Emmanuel Clase, by the way, is down today. James Karinchak getting ready in the bullpen to try and close it out. Will it be a save situation, or will Owen Miller put some distance? A weak ground ball is short, ends the inning. So 4-1 Guardians. Karinchak will try to save it next. James Karinchak with a chance to close today. His 27th appearance on the season. He'll be facing Gilberto Celestino, Gio Urshela, and Nick Gordon here in the bottom of the ninth for Minnesota. Guardians up 4-1. Gilberto Celestino leading it off. He is 0 for 2 since coming on for Max Kepler, who left early in the game when he fouled a ball off of his right knee. Three runs is, still considered a save situation. The way Cleveland and Minnesota have played against each other this year, 3 runs for the Guardians, that's like a lot of breathing room, because their 8 wins have all been by 2 runs or less.
Yeah, but the way this series has gone, there's not a lot of breathing room in with the way they've scored in the 9th inning for 2 games. Until you get that 27th out, he will not breathe right. But you like it a lot better than 2-1.
And you like it a lot better if Karinchak can retire the leadoff man.
Yeah, always helps.
But he's run the count full. The 3-2. He walked him. Well, Friday night, Rocco Baldelli ruffled more than a few feathers when he asked the home plate umpire, Ted Barrett, who's also the crew chief, to check Karinchak during the inning. Now, the umpires have routinely checked pitchers when they come into the game from the bullpen, and when they leave the game, they check them for any foreign substance. And so why Baldelli was so adamant about checking him during the game, and specifically checking the hair.
I did not know you could do that. And why didn't you check him after the first hitter got a hit?
Tito's problem is it was a 2-2 count when he did that.
To
He said
arise.
you should never be able to do that in an at-bat is what bothers Tito.
And I did not think you could do that. Now, I think they were wrong by doing it, and there's got to be some kind of penalty to do that.
And Tito's, he stewed about it he didn't say anything Friday night, but after thinking about it, he just didn't like that it happened during an at-bat. He said, if you got a problem, ask before a hitter.
Correct.
Or after a hitter, but not during an at-bat.
I think they made a mistake doing that.
And he said he didn't come out there because he didn't want to make it worse and then, slow the game down. But he said the more he thought about it, what bothers him is when it occurred and how it occurred.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody checked in the middle of an at-bat.
Be a long weekend in Cleveland.
Oh, yes, it will. This is just 3 games. Wait till 5 come.
Ted Barrett's been one of the better umpires in Major League Baseball. Man of great integrity. I wonder if he had it to do over, if he would have said to Baldelli, I'll check him after the at-bat is over.
Right.
Well,
I'm sure it's getting back to MLB that they never want that to happen again.
Well, we'll see what happens. Will we hear a statement of any kind?
I mean, what's the point of checking him if you're going to go out and check him in during the
and they check him coming off the field?
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
I don't understand it.
And look, the way James goes about his business out there, he's going to that hair, going to the rosin bag 15 times an inning. You think he's going to be putting something in his hair? I mean, it's so obvious.
Well, right now he doesn't have it. He's got nothing. Came out and got ahead of the first hitter. He doesn't have command of his fastball, and I haven't really seen a curveball, and that's normally the pitch he loves to throw.
And he rung him up with a nasty curveball, and Urshela caught looking, 1 down.
Well, there's the curveball. Gets it for a strikeout. I was wondering when we're going to see a good one. There it is, right on the outside edge. Good pitch.
And I won't quote players, but I've had a couple players, and you guys have been on the bus, and we've faced other teams that have pitchers that go to their head a lot. And it's almost like a baseball's unwritten rule of you don't do that to a team, because as one of the players said, we could check every guy on their team if you want to do that. And that's not how you want to play this game.
It was a move that really didn't show a lot of feel for the situation.
Good word.
Runner goes. They don't care. That's not an important.
No. But throwing strikes is. This is where Karinchak had better speed up his process, because by that clock in next year, 15-20 seconds, he's going to have an issue with it. The way he goes about it right now.
A lot of pitchers are going to have to make that adjustment.
You know,
and I'm assuming you're going to have a clock somewhere.
Well, they got to be able to see it.
I'm
just curious to say, when does that next pitch clock kick in? To where you know the seconds are start. Where is it? When?
I believe as soon as the pitcher catches the ball back from the catcher.
All right. Well, that's everything we've got to find out. And who's going to do that? You got to have to hire more people.
Yeah, you know it.
You know, to come around, is there going to be another umpire, a fifth guy that comes into a ballpark, and they do it in every ballpark? I don't know. Haven't heard anything about it. Or who's in charge of really the clock?
I'll put you in charge of it.
No, sir. Got enough to do.
And a full count. We're in the bottom of the ninth. 1 on, 1 out. Karinchak with the 3-2, and that is ball 4. And now your margin of error is really shrunk because the tying run is coming to the plate. Carl Willis is coming out to talk with Karinchak. Houston hasn't, they haven't quite figured it out yet. They're up 12-3 now on the Angels. They're still working. Meanwhile, I don't think it's a final in New York either. They're beating Tampa 10-1.
I think they had some rain out on the East Coast. Look at Philadelphia, they're in a rain delay, and I think New York was earlier.
Okay. White Sox, A's 1-1. They're in the 4th inning now in Oakland. And Karinchak will be facing Kyle Garlick, who is 0 for 3 today. Zips a fastball in for strike 1.
Best fastball he's throwing, it was down.
Looks like Nick Sandlin may be getting up in the Cleveland bullpen. Garlick fouls this off to the right. There is the Sandman. Gilberto Celestino at second base. Nick Gordon at first. 1 out. 0-2 pitch. Popped out of play. Fourth batter of the inning, and there has not been a ball put in play yet. And it's outside. Karinchak's 1-2 pitch. He struck him out. 2 down.
Comes back with the curveball, gets him. He couldn't check his swing. He chases after it in the dirt. You see the swing, you get the second out.
And the batter, Jermaine Palacios. He pinch hit for Jake Cade back in the 7th inning. And a soft line drive out. And now he bats with 2 on and 2 out. And swings through a fastball. Ooh. A tad high, 1-1. Well, the fastball back. Karinchak and the Guardians 1 strike away from a sweep. Now the 1-2 pitch. Sails high with a fastball, and we're back to even at 2-2. Two on, two out, 2-2 pitch. And that's out of play. "28 pitches thrown, not a single one of them has been put in play. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts.
He's definitely going to have to change his manner by next year. That's guaranteed.
And the 2-2. Book it. The Guardians sweep the Minnesota Twins, winning today by a final score of 4-1. Karinchak walked 2 but struck out 3. And Cleveland will head back home atop the American League Central Division standings as they move to 73-65 on the year. And they're now 9-5 this season against Minnesota. Twins fall below 500 now at 69-70 on the season. Winning pitcher Shane Bieber, he's now 10-8 on the season. And the same will go to James Karinchak. Losing pitcher is Josh Winder, and he is now 4-4 on the season. Wow, what a weekend.
Well, you got to love the road trip. 5-1 on the road. Out of the 6 games they played, they had that opportunity in Kansas City to sweep as well. So, I mean, they did exactly what they had to do. They came into this house, they won 3 in a row, and it's time to go home and play a good long week of baseball.
All right, that's going to wrap it up here at Target Field. Time now for Guardians Live postgame with Alan Jensen. Boy, pitching's been outstanding, and today there was no real drama late innings with the bullpen.